Yes, indeed. Was good, boxing heads and fight fans around the world. B Marsh back at it with another boxing video. So this is my series. You know what I mean? Back at it one more again, man. It's been a while. It's been a very long time, matter of fact. Back at it, man, with this fights we didn't get to see series. You know what I mean? About to take you back to 2008, anywhere between January of 2008 till when the man Vernon Forrest, God rest his soul, he passed away. You know what I mean? I believe that was 2009, maybe June, in the summer of 2009. You know what I mean? Now, what I'm talking about over here, man, is a fight we didn't get to see between the WBC champion of the world at light middleweight, Mr. Vernon Forrest, the Viper, Vernon Forrest. Very good fighter, very underrated fighter. Was one of my favorite fighters to watch back in the G. You know what I mean? And it's sad how the guy went out, man, because this guy was really genuinely a good dude, you know what I mean? This guy's a very charitable dude, you know. He was a guy who always looked out for his community, always gave back. And this guy was a real boxer, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? This guy, man, it's kind of hard talking about the man Vernon Forrest, I ain't gonna lie, because I was really a fan, you know what I'm saying? I really like the man Vernon Forrest, and he's one of the first guys to put the man Al Heyman on the map. You know what I mean? One of Al Heyman's first clients. You know what I'm saying? So, big ups to the Viper Vernon Forrest from Atlanta, Georgia. But this video right here is about a fight we didn't get to see, and that's between him and Maravilla, Sergio Martinez. You know what I mean? Sergio Martinez, very good fighter himself. Also a multiple division champion, just like the man, what's his name? Just like the man Vernon Forrest. You know what I mean? Vernon Forrest was a former WBC champion, and matter of fact, he was a two-time champion at welterweight. He had the IBF strap, and he also had the WBC strap. He beat Raul Frank for the IBF strap, and he beat Mosley for the WBC strap at 147, you know what I mean? So the man Sergio Martinez, like I said, he's also a two-time champion, and he was a mandatory for this guy, Vernon Forrest, for 18 months, you know what I mean? It was a very long time, man, The fight was supposed to have been made, a mandatory prolonging 18 months. Something's going on, you know what I mean? That something is actually going on, So, like I said, man, Sergio Martinez at this particular time has no title. Matter of fact, Sergio Martinez got on the ranking scene. Actually, he became the WBC interim champion. You know what I mean? And that's when he beat a guy out of Congo, Kinshasa, Congo, the Zaire. He beat the guy named Alex Bunema. You know what I mean? And at the time, the Sergio Martinez. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't known to the public like that as far as his pedigree, So, hardcores had seen him fight, but he wasn't going to be the not household name, but, the marquee fighter that he would become later on down the line, you know what I'm saying? So when he fought Alex Bunema, still a lot of people weren't rating the guy. I was watching the guy, you know what I mean? I seen this guy fight when he from his 14th or 15th fight when he fought Antonio Margarito, you know what I'm saying? He got his ass whooped by Margarito, but, this was a guy that I was watching, you know what I'm saying? This guy, Sergio Martinez, man, I liked his style, you know what I mean? And I was really looking forward to seeing him versus Vernon Forrest. At the time this fight was supposed to happen, it was a toss-up for me, you know what I mean? I wasn't quite sure who would have won, you know what I'm saying? But, hey, man, we back at it, man. Fights we didn't get to see series. Between 2008 2009, he was the mandatory to Vernon Forrest for the WBC belt that Vernon Forrest had beaten off of, what's his name? Carlos Baldomir, you know what I mean? Handled his business against Carlos Baldomir, you know what I'm saying? And he became a welterweight champion, you know what I mean? Now, like I said, man, Vernon Forrest, how many defenses did he have? I think this is just off the cuff, man. The man fought fellas like Sergio Mora. He fought Sergio Mora twice. I remember when I'm defending his WBC world title, and he lost the first fight. I thought he lost the first fight. The judges had it right. They go to what you call them brothers. The Watson brothers, you know what I mean? That's a young ass Watson brothers, you know what I mean? They're representing the man Vernon Forrest, you know. But like I said, man, Vernon Forrest was a WBC champion, but his mandatory was the man Sergio Martinez. Sergio Martinez had been waiting long for the opportunity that he wasn't getting the opportunity to fight the man Vernon Forrest, you know what I mean? So the WBC elevated him to the interim WBC champion at 154, okay? Now the man Vernon Forrest, like I said, him being the champion, you know what I mean? He ain't fight his mandatory, you know. Sergio Martinez, like I said, he beat Alex Bunama. This guy, Vernon Forrest, had 2 fights with the man Sergio Moore. And that was the last time he fought, you know what I mean? When he beat him in the second fight, when he beat Sergio Moore. You know, this was a Sergio Moore fresh off the contender. Where's that uppercut? Where's that uppercut? Man, I was looking for that uppercut. He gave Mosley then a beautiful left hook and straight right hand down the pipe. Put Mosley down, man, down. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the man Sergio Martinez deserved his shot, you know what I mean? You know, they finally elevated the man Sergio Moore to the real WBC champ when they stripped the man Vernon Forrest, because Vernon Forrest pulled out of with the injury, you know what I'm saying? They'd even done a purse bid for this fight, you know what I mean? And Vernon Forrest was gonna win the lion's share of the bread, a 55-45 split, you know what I mean? So these guys were supposed to fight, man, but when the guy pulled out of an injury, Lou DiBella being Sergio Martinez's promoter, this guy wasn't having that no more, man. He was like, dogs, you gonna fight that guy or what, man? You know what I'm saying? You gonna fight him or what? Because at the end of the day, we need to get a shot at that title, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So the man Sergio Martinez waited patiently. He ain't get his opportunity, but when the guy pulled out with the injury, it was on and popping. Now he got elevated to WBC champion. And the whole time in between them negotiations, you know, Vernon Forrest's team was ducking. Gary Shaw, his promoter, was trying to make a fight with some guy named somebody Whitaker. I can't even remember the guy's name. A journeyman out of the Cayman Islands, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they was actually trying to take that fight rather than fight the man Sergio Martinez, you know what I mean? At the time, you know, I think being that Vernon Forrest was a little older, he was trying to get the money fights. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, if that's the case, then just drop the belt outright and stop playing with the man Sergio Martinez, you know what I'm saying? The guy earned his opportunity, but the Vernon Forrest camp was prolonging it, you know what I mean? And they finally pulled out with an injury. I think they said some kind of rib injury. Whether you believe it or not, at the end of the day, the WBC did the right thing. They stripped the man for not facing his mandatory. And, you know, Sergio got elevated, you know what I mean, to the real WBC champ, you know what I mean? And I think his first defense was against Kerman Cintron, and they called that a majority draw. That's the Alex Bunema guy. They call it a draw, but Sergio Martinez won that fight, you know what I mean? You check it, and yeah, so with that being said, man, Sergio Martinez, I think the man, he got ducked by Vernon Forrest. There goes the fight with Kerman Cintron. Look at this guy, Kerman Cintron, man. This fight was a peculiar fight, man. Real controversial fight. I might have to cover this again on my Fights We Didn't Get to See series, you know what I mean? You check it. So, Sergio Martinez, like I said, man, him being the not elevated to the real champ. Now let's talk about the breakdown and prediction, man. What would have happened, you know what I mean? But like I said, the guy, Vernon Forrest, was trying to fight a nobody in the Cayman Islands, and the public wasn't having that, you know what I mean? The general consensus was that Vernon Forrest is ducking Maravilla, you know what I mean? Say what you want. That's how I seen it too, man. The guy's been your mandatory for 18 months. You ain't trying to fight, and then you pull out with the injury and let the WBC strip you. Hey, man, it is what it is. So, you know, as far as styles and technique, you know what I mean, I think the man Sergio Martinez, I think Vernon Forrest might have had the longer reach, you know what I mean, might have been the taller fighter. You check it. Sergio Martinez being the southpaw, You know what I mean? I think it would have made for a very good fight, you know what I'm saying? I think Vernon Forrest, his style, man, he wasn't quite the combination puncher like the man, what's his name is? Um, Sergio Martinez, you know what I mean? I think Sergio Martinez was a better combination puncher. I think, what's his name, sits on his punches more, though. Vernon Forrest, you know what I mean? Vernon Forrest is a kind of guy who had a kind of wide stance, and he'd sit on his punches a little more, you know what I mean? You know, in order to get an opponent up out of there. You check it, you know, and his shit was more, you know what I mean? Left hooks, throwing some mean body shots, you know what I mean? I think he definitely got the edge as far as coming to when it to going to the body. Excuse me, I think he was a better fighter than Maravilla at going to the body, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But I think that the man, Sergio Martinez, like I said, was a better combination puncher. Maravilla also had better legs, you know what I mean? He had better foot movement, you know what I'm saying? And I think he had the quicker hand speed, you know what I mean? The hand speed and the foot speed all belong to the man Maravilla, you know what I mean? You know, Sergio Martinez was a guy who used to be a soccer player and a cyclist, you know what I mean? You know, the guy was an athlete by nature, you know what I'm saying? You know, the guy's fighting style, to me, he reminded me of a poor man's Roy Jones with a little splash of some Prince Nassim, you know what I mean, from that southpaw stance. How the guy would, you know, fight with his hands down, you know what I'm saying, moving around the ring, a showman, you know what I'm saying? And a guy who can crack, man. Say what you want, man. The man Maravilla could crack, man. I bet you Paul Williams will agree with me about that, you know what I'm saying? Or that other guy, that dude, Sergey Dever something, you know, he was a WBO 50 pound champion. He was a champion for like 5 years. That was a guy that, you know, a lot of people said Sergio Martinez should be trying to fight rather than if he doesn't get his opportunity versus Vernon Forrest, you know what I mean? But hey, look, the man Sergio Martinez eventually later on became the WBC middleweight champion of the world when he beat Vernon Forrest, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me, not Vernon Forrest, beat Kelly Pavlik, you know what I mean? And he eventually did fight that guy. The Sergey Davrazanko something, man. I can't even pronounce the dude's name, man. You know what I'm saying? I know the dude who had a good amateur background, and he was a champion for like 5 years with the WBO 154 belt. You know what I mean? You check it. So, I think the man Vernon Forrest, like I said, good body puncher. He's a guy who throws punches more one at a time. He does throw accumulation when he has an opponent hurt, you know what I'm saying? And I think also Sergio Martinez, you know, when he knocked out Paul Williams, that was a one-punch knockout, perfect knockout, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't quite say that he's by nature a KO king, you know what I mean? I think he caught the man with the perfect punch, and it hurt the man, you know what I mean? He actually cut his lights off. You know what I'm saying? But Sergio Martinez was almost always fighting taller fighters. Look at this fighter up with a puncher in Kelly Pavlik, you know what I mean? You know, he did struggle, in my opinion, in the fight versus guys like Darren Barker. But then again, he caught Darren Barker with a vicious right hook in the 11th round. And that was that, man. He cut his lights out, you know what I mean? You check it. So, to me, this fight depends on which Vernon Forrest will show up. You know what I mean? Will it be that Vernon Forrest in the Mayorga first fight? Or even the second fight, even though the second fight was a close fight, majority decision, close fight, you know what I mean? Could have gone either way. But which Vernon Forrest is going to show up? Is it the guy who lost to Sergio Mora the first time? Or will it be the Vernon Forrest who beat Sergio Mora in the second fight, you know what I mean? But then again, Sergio Mora, his only claim to fame in his career was that victory against Vernon Forrest, and he was hot off the Contender series, being the winner of the Contender, the TV series, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's tough to say, you know what I mean? And prior to that, you know, I'd seen the man, you know, I thought the man Ike Quartet had beat Vernon Forrest, and I believe that fight was at 154 pounds, you know what I mean? Two guys who are former welterweight champions, they met at junior middleweight, and, you know, it's hard to say which Vernon Forrest will show up, but I think that the man Sergio Martinez style is too tricky for the man Vernon Forrest, you know what I mean? I think Vernon Forrest will be trying to load up. The guy Sergio Martinez will counterpunch him, you know what I mean? He'd be waiting for him to make a mistake or miss with them with, how he sits on his punches with his wide stance. His wide stance won't get him out the way of Sergio Martinez, slipping those punches and countering back, you know what I mean? Go look at the fight versus that Sergey Dever something guy, man, and see how many times Sergio Martinez put this guy on the canvas. He dropped him by like 5 times, you know what I mean? He even dropped Paul Williams in the first fight, you know what I mean? Paul Williams dropped him too, you know what I mean? Sergio Martinez, even go look at the fight that he had versus Chavez Jr., you know what I'm saying? The bigger guy, of course, slow with the hand speed and the foot speed. But, Sergio Martinez was an athlete. The guy don't get tired, you know what I mean? And I think Vernon Forrest was at that stage of his career, he wasn't looking to be fighting no mandatories no more, man. He was looking for big money fights, you know what I mean? You check it, he didn't get to fight guys like De La Hoya or even Winky Wright. Just some more high-profile fights, you know what I'm saying? It's a damn shame he passed away because I can guarantee you he would have got them eventually, you know what I mean? By hook or by crook, he would have got them eventually, you know what I'm saying? So it's difficult sometimes to gauge the man and say, yeah, Vernon Forrest, whether he had peaked, had we seen the best of his, or was his best days behind him by the time he got killed, you know what I mean? But I think Sergio Martinez is more the slicker fighter, you know what I'm saying? Vernon Forrest was a good boxer, a boxer puncher, no question about it, you know what I'm saying? A guy who had a vicious amateur pedigree. There's even a fight of him versus Kostya Tszyu here on YouTube. Go check it out in the amateurs, you know what I'm saying? And, Sergio Martinez, man, I just think this guy was just on his own level at that time of his career, you know what I mean? A guy who hadn't taken a lot of damage, you know what I'm saying, as far as at that stage of his career, like I said. He was the younger fighter, you know what I mean? We've always thought of the man Sergio Martinez to be an older fighter than, you know what I mean, than most of his opponents. That's because the man started boxing late, you know what I mean? And I think that the man Sergio Martinez would just be on his bicycle, moving around, you know what I'm saying, sitting on his punches when the guy Vernon Forrest makes misses, you know what I mean, misses punches, you know what I'm saying, because the man Sergio Martinez, he's a kind of guy, he doesn't really block shots with his mitts, with his gloves, you know what I mean. He's more of a guy who has the head movement, upper body movement, head movement, and he uses his legs to get out the way of punches. The man Sergio, Vernon Forrest is going to be, to me, I'm judging him by the time he faced guys like Sergio Moore, and even from the Ike Quartet fight, you know what I mean, and even from fellas like what's his name? What's the guy's name? Ricardo Mayorga, you know what I mean? The guy he wasn't that elusive of a fighter. To me, it was because of his wide stance, you know what I'm saying? His wide stance, and when you sit down on your punches when you miss, that's the perfect opportunity for guys like Maravilla to detonate them left hand lead left hands that he usually would do, you know what I mean? And he had a nice right hook from the southpaw stance, you know what I'm saying? And see how he slept the man Paul Williams, you know what I mean? So like I said, at this stage of his career, I'm going to have to pick the man Sergio Martinez. I got Sergio Martinez winning a close fight, you know what I mean? Probably 7 rounds to 5 over Vernon Forrest. Vernon Forrest, I believe, was about 38 years old, you know what I mean? Because he became a world champion at WBC junior middleweight champ, 154, when he was 36 years old, you know what I mean? So we're talking about 2 years later. You know what I mean? At 38 years old, Maravilla was about 34 or about 32, 34. I'm going to go with the younger, faster, hungrier guy, you know what I mean? A guy who had been dodged by the man Vernon Forrest for 18 months, man, you know what I'm saying? So be Marsh Boxer, leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know what y'all think about this fight right here. Fights we didn't get to see between 2008, 2009, the mandatory WBC 154-pound mandatory Sergio Martinez versus Vernon Forrest, the champion at 154. Let me know who you guys think gonna win. I think Vernon Forrest will get caught with flurries at points and times, and just the more cleaner, effective punches going to go to the man Sergio Martinez, the more eye-catching punches, you know what I mean? And I think that the man Vernon Forrest at this stage of his career is a little slow with his feet, and Sergio Martinez is going to catch him early and often, you know what I'm saying? You know, Sergio Martinez had a good run at middleweight, the second longest lineal champion at middleweight behind Marvin Hagler. Hagler had it from 1980 till 87, and this guy right here had it between Sergio Martinez had it from like 2010 till 2014, you know what I mean? A good 4 years. So, be Marsh Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments. I got Sergio Martinez by a split decision, but more of a unanimous decision, but one judge probably going to see it for Vernon. Be Marsh Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments, and I'm out of here. Peace. And please check out my playlist of this series that I have, Fights We Didn't Get to See series. It's here on my playlist. I got over 20 fights that I've covered, of real actual fights that we didn't get to see, not no mythical matchup thing, not no who wins between Floyd Mayweather versus Tommy Hearns, or who wins between Manny Pacquiao and Pernell Whitaker at lightweight. Nah, this is real fights that should have happened in real time, in a real life. Be Marsh Boxing, I'm out of here. Peace. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Gone.